this is Paul from Stage 3 VFX, and today I'm going to be doing a campfire for you guys, but today we're going to be doing things a little bit different. We're going to be getting our hands a little dirty, being it's the spooky season. We're going to delve into the world of SFX, and I'm going to be looking at two particular products here with you guys today, flocking blood and alcohol-activated makeup. What is this stuff, and how's it going to help you guys save time and money as a VFX artist? Let's get into it. So, what is flocking blood? In order to understand what flocking blood is, you have to understand what flocking is. Flocking is a collection of very tiny fibers, in this case, nylon fibers, that are usually used to cover a 3D object to give it a kind of felt or velvety feel, right? If you've ever seen the inside of a tiny wooden jewelry box, sometimes they have a very soft, felt-like feel to them. Those are usually covered in a adhesive and then covered in a flocking powder. Now, this mix of flocking isn't to be used to coat an object to make it feel soft. These tiny bits of vinyl are to be mixed with a liquid to create what's called a pigmentless fake blood. What do I mean by pigmentless blood? So most fake blood is made of a number of things. Usually it's a syrup and a dye, or multiple dyes, usually red mainly, a little bit of green, some yellow, maybe a touch of some blue. Problem is these pigments, they stain. They stain your tub, they stain the actor, they stain the set. With flocking blood, essentially what you're doing is you're mixing these tiny, tiny fibers into your syrup, and you're mixing that all together, creating the illusion of a colored syrup. Why do we want to use flocking blood? Why not use regular fake blood? Why not use, let's say, Dick Smith's famous fake blood recipe? Looks real, pretty amazing. So why we would want to use flocking blood over regular fake blood seems pretty obvious. It's easy to clean. Pigmentless blood means no staining, easy cleanup. But there are a few other reasons I would use this over regular fake blood, especially being a VFX artist. So some of you may be familiar with movies like Evil Dead, maybe Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, or the infamous Carrie film, where actors are coated from head to toe in gore and blood. And as a VFX artist, to do that kind of effect digitally would be quite a monumental task. It is much easier to coat an actor in fake blood. That being said, if I am to cover an actor in fake blood and that actor were to have to share a set with other actors, maybe it's a live performance, maybe they're working on a stage together, I would need that stage to stay safe and clean for my other actors. I can't have bloody footprints everywhere. I can't have my actor's skin stained for the next scene. I need them to be able to immediately clean off. So there's one scenario where this flocking blood might work better than a traditional fake blood. Another scenario where I think this flocking blood works very well is applications where blood is flung at a green screen and used to key blood splatters, cherry pies. Some people like to load up different kind of compressors and compression type tools where they shoot blood at the back of a wall to simulate a gunshot. Blood like this works very, very well for those type of scenarios because of easy cleanup. You don't have to worry about damaging or staining a green screen. You don't have to worry about damaging or staining the walls of your house or your set. So how do we use this? For the blood mix I like to do with the flocking blood, I like to use about a cup of glycerin and about 16 ounces of light corn syrup. That seems to give me a consistency I really like. Now with this flocking powder, make sure to mix it up really, really good. I didn't have a top for this particular container. Usually I would shake it to mix it because the flocking powder tends to float on top of liquids, whether it's syrup, water, whatever it may be. Best to shake it up, but in this case, I'm just stirring it up as best I can with this large popsicle stick. All right, now that I've got it all thoroughly mixed and I've got it this consistency that I like, we're ready to rock and roll. Here we're applying our flocking blood mix to our actress. And you can see even with just the 3 ingredients, the flocking powder, the syrup, and the glycerin, it's pretty convincing. Looks like any fake blood. You'd never be able to tell, even up close, that this is just a mix of red fibers and clear syrups. And as promised, here comes the magic. Washes away with water. All right, so here we got some blood on our actor's hand, and we're gonna have them put a little handprint on the wall here. Then I'm gonna let it dry up, and I'm gonna show you some tissue paper and some water. So I'm gonna give it one pass with the tissue paper without any water on it, just to get a good amount of that fiber off the wall. And really all that's left is just that sticky corn syrup with a little bit of those red fibers left behind. So take a little bit of water, put it on tissue, wipe the rest off, and you never know anything was there. No staining, no marks, nothing to worry about. So this stuff is very cool. The mix I gave you guys is a little runny. I happen to like a little bit of a runny mix. The mix they recommend on this particular packaging of flocking blood called for sorbitol and glycerin. I didn't have any sorbitol on hand. I had corn syrup. Really though, you can use just about anything. Go wild with this stuff. Possibilities are pretty endless. It's a pretty amazing material to work with. Next, we're going to talk about alcohol activated makeup. So what is alcohol activated makeup? Basically, alcohol activated makeup is makeup that cannot be applied to the skin or to anything until alcohol has been introduced to it. And when I say alcohol, fairly strong alcohol, 90% or higher on average. I prefer 99%, but it can be hard to find. When you add alcohol to alcohol activated makeup, it allows you to move it, almost like watercolor paints. It also applies very similar to a watercolor paint. Once dried and the alcohol is evaporated, the pigment is left behind. I believe it's a kind of plastic. So the reason for using alcohol activated makeups is pretty clear. It's waterproof. You can have your character in a shower scene with cuts and scrapes all over them. You could have them washing their face, and the scrapes and cuts that you provide with the alcohol activated makeup will remain there. So how would we use this stuff? I'd start by adding a little bit of 90% or higher alcohol into one of the colored reservoirs. I'd begin to activate the paint and pull it into this top area to do more mixing. I'd then apply whatever cuts or scrapes with a makeup brush or a makeup stipple sponge, whatever the project called for. Once the makeup's been applied to the actor and the alcohol is evaporated, the makeup is now set on the actor's skin and will not rub off and will not wash off with water or soap. In order to remove the plastic makeup or the alcohol activated makeup, you'll need to apply more alcohol or a remover typically made of alcohol, 90% or higher. So what are the main takeaways here today, guys? Flocking blood. It's very good if you need to cover an actor in fake blood and not make a big mess. It's also good to throw at a green screen to use to key stuff and maybe get some nice blood splatter effects for your projects. Alcohol activated makeup. We learned that we can put it on our actor and the makeup is waterproof. If we want to add cuts, bruises, scrapes to our actor, we can have them in a shower. We could have them running through the rain and not worry about these elements being washed away. Sometimes practical effects save a lot of time and money. Trying to track a bunch of cuts and scrapes on your actor that's moving and he's in the shower and he has water coming down on him and make it look convincing could be pretty expensive and time consuming. Whereas something as simple as this could take you 10 minutes, maybe learn a little bit about watercolor painting, might help you make a convincing look. But other than that, this stuff is a time saver and a money saver. Alcohol activated makeup, flocking blood, Add them to your arsenal wherever you can, however you can. Have fun with it.